The truth about the woman I will marry, I know what they're thinking. They're waiting for me to explain myself, waiting for me to justify my choice. Because in their eyes, she isn't the woman I was supposed to choose. She isn't the one they imagined standing beside me. She isn't the kind of woman they expected me to marry. But that's their problem, not mine. Because the truth is I don't owe anyone an explanation. But if they really want to know, if they're so desperate to understand why it's her, why it was always her, then fine. Let me tell them the truth about the woman I will marry. She's not perfect, and that's why I love her. She isn't the girl who grew up dreaming of a fairy tale wedding. She isn't the type to plaster her life on social media for validation. She doesn't fit into the mold they've built for the ideal wife, and she doesn't want to. She's stubborn, she's complicated. She's a little reckless sometimes, a little guarded, a little too unfiltered for people who aren't ready to hear the truth. But she's real. She loves with her whole heart, even when she's afraid. She fights for what she believes in, even when the world tells her she shouldn't. She doesn't change herself to be liked. She's just herself. And that's why I love her. She's been through more than anyone knows. They look at her and think they know her, but they don't. They don't know the battles she's fought, the scars she carries, the nights she spent, wondering if she was enough. They don't know what it's like to love someone who has spent years being told she's too much or not enough. They don't see the quiet moments, the way she wakes up before me just to make my coffee right, even though she doesn't drink it. The way she texts me out of nowhere just to remind me she believes in me. The way she holds my hand when I'm struggling, even when she's struggling too. They see her confidence, her strength, her fire, but they don't see the woman who has had to fight for everything she has. And that's the woman I'm marrying. Not because she's flawless, not because she's perfect, but because she's her. They don't have to approve. Only I do. I've learned something over the years. People love to have opinions about things that don't concern them. They love to decide what's right and wrong for someone else's life. But at the end of the day, they aren't the ones who will wake up next to her every morning. They aren't the ones who will build a life with her. They aren't the ones who will love her the way I do. So their approval? It doesn't matter. Because the truth is simple. She's the woman I choose, and no one else's opinion will ever change that. The moment I made it public, everything changed. The questions came faster. The judgment grew louder. The people who once stood beside me suddenly had so much to say. Are you sure about this? She's different from the women you've dated before. She's not what we expected for you. I heard it all. But none of it mattered. Because what they didn't realize was that I had never been more sure of anything in my life. She wasn't like the others, and that's why I chose her. They wanted me to choose someone easier, someone who fit the mold, someone who checked the boxes, someone who would sit quietly, smile when expected, and never challenge a single thing. But that wasn't her. She was bold, she spoke her mind. Even when people didn't want to hear it. She didn't shrink herself to make others comfortable, and that scared them. Because she wasn't just another pretty face. She had substance. She had a voice. And she refused to be anything less than who she was meant to be. And for that, they thought she wasn't right for me. But they didn't see what I saw. The love they couldn't understand. She wasn't the kind of woman who needed me. She was the kind of woman who chose me. Not because she had to, not because she was afraid of being alone, but because she wanted me. And that made all the difference. Because when a woman like her chooses you, she chooses you with everything she has. There is no half-love with her. There is no pretending. There is no staying just because it's convenient. She stays because she wants to, and no amount of whispers, no amount of doubt, no amount of outside pressure was going to change that. My final answer to the world. They kept waiting for me to second-guess myself, To have some moment of realization where I'd say, you were right. She isn't the one. But that moment, it was never coming. Because while they were busy searching for reasons why I shouldn't love her, I was falling deeper in love with her every single day. So let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them misunderstand. Because when I stand at that altar, when I take her hand, when I promise to spend the rest of my life by her side, I won't be thinking about them. I'll only be thinking about her. The woman I choose, the woman I love, the woman I will marry, no matter what the world says. The noise never stopped. It followed us into every conversation, every family gathering, every moment where people thought they had the right to an opinion on our love. Think about your future. Are you sure she's the best choice? Marriage is a big decision. Don't rush it. As if I hadn't already made my choice. As if love was something that needed to fit inside their expectations to be real. As if I hadn't already found everything I wanted in her. She never asked me to defend her. She never told me to fight for her. She never begged me to prove that she was worth it. Because she had never been the kind of woman to ask for validation. She knew who she was. She knew what we had. And even though the world questioned us, she never questioned me. She trusted that my love was strong enough to stand through it all. But that didn't mean it didn't hurt her. I saw it in the way she stayed silent when people spoke about her as if she wasn't enough. I saw it in the way she forced a smile when they asked if she was worried about our future. I saw it in the way she pretended their words didn't sting when I knew they did. And that was something I wouldn't tolerate. The day I made it clear to everyone, it happened at a family dinner. The table was full, the room loud with conversation, but the second she excused herself to get some air, the whispers started. You could have any woman. Why her? I set my glass down slowly, looking up. What does that mean? I asked, my voice calm but firm. They hesitated, exchanging glances before someone finally spoke. She's just different from what we imagined for you. Different. That was the word they always used. Not good enough, not undeserving, just different. Because the truth was, they couldn't find a real reason to doubt her. She was kind. She was strong. She was everything a man could want in a wife. But she wasn't who they pictured. And that was enough for them to think something was wrong. I leaned forward, my tone leaving no room for argument. Let me make something clear. I don't need your approval. I don't need your permission. And I don't need you to understand. They stared at me wide-eyed as I continued. She is the woman I love. She is the woman I will marry. And whether or not you accept that, I shrugged, leaning back. That's your problem, not mine. She was listening. I didn't know she had come back inside, didn't know she had heard every word. But when I turned, I saw her standing there, eyes glassy, lips slightly parted, staring at me like she was seeing me for the first time. She didn't say anything. She just walked over, slid her hand into mine, and held on tight. And in that moment, I knew I had just given her the answer she had been waiting for. No more worrying. No more wondering. She knew now without a doubt. I wasn't just choosing her in private. I was choosing her in front of the whole world. And I would never stop. Her fingers tightened around mine, like she was holding on for dear life. But I wasn't going anywhere. Not now, not ever. The room was silent. I could feel the weight of their stares, the unspoken tension hanging in the air. They had expected me to waver, to stumble over my words, to second-guess myself. But I hadn't. And now they knew I never would. She deserved to be loved out loud for too long. She had been the one people overlooked, the one they doubted, the one they thought wasn't enough, simply because she didn't fit into the perfect polished image they had built in their minds. But they didn't know her the way I did. They didn't see the way she stayed up late with me when my mind was restless. The way she laughed, full and unfiltered, never holding back. The way she fought for the people she loved, even when no one fought for her. She wasn't just different, she was extraordinary. And she deserved more than whispered doubts and hesitant acceptance. She deserved to be loved fearlessly. So that's exactly what I was going to do. The moment that changed everything, I turned to face her, ignoring the weight of the eyes still on us. It didn't matter anymore. Only she did. She was staring at me, her lips parted slightly, her eyes searching mine. I could see the question lingering there. Did you mean it? So I gave her the answer she needed. I lifted her hand to my lips, pressing a slow, deliberate kiss to her fingers. And then, loud enough for everyone to hear, I said, "You are the best decision I've ever made." She exhaled sharply, a shaky breath leaving her lips. And then she smiled. Really smiled. Not the hesitant, uncertain one she gave when she was still afraid I'd break under the pressure. But the kind of smile that told me she finally believed me. Let them talk. We've already won the world. Wouldn't stop talking. The doubts wouldn't magically disappear overnight. There would still be whispers, still be stares, still be people waiting for me to change my mind. But let them talk. Let them wonder. Let them judge. Because at the end of the day, none of them would be standing beside me at the altar. Only she would. And when that moment came, I wouldn't be thinking about anyone else. Just her. The woman I chose. The woman I fought for. The woman I would love for the rest of my life. No matter what the world had to say about it.